So welcome everyone to the fourth and final webinar of our TAAS Tourism as a Service project. Our webinar is titled Better Customer Experiences with Visitor Data and Insight. And my name is Matti Pollari. I work as a development manager here in Visit Tampere. And I'm also the project manager here in Visit Tampere of TAAS Tourism as a Service project. And I'll say just a few words about our project, and then I'll hand the microphone over to Henry Myöhänen from Booming Strategies and Marketing. Henry will take us through the webinar program. But first, a few words about TAAS project and what we are doing and why are we here today. So TAAS is an Interact Europe project. We have 10 partners from different sides of Europe joining us in our partnership. Lead partner is Center for Research and Technology, Hellas. They are leading the project, and the project joins us 9 partner destinations to improve our policy instruments to drive smart and sustainable tourism development. And our joint goal is to accelerate digitalization in tourism and to boost the economic impacts for business and make best use of digitalization in tourism. So that's our joint effort, and that is the reason for being together and exchanging good practices and knowledge. And Visit Tampere, we have a special focus in sustainable tourism mobility, and especially making the digital customer chain better related to sustainable tourism mobility, making the mobility options more reachable for our customers. And the whole TAAS project is about our TAAS 360 degrees model which we are using for developing customer pathway. And it has 4 phases. Phase A is imagining the trip. Phase B is planning the trip. Phase C is what happens during the trip. And phase D is what happens after the trip. And today we are here focusing on phase D. So how we can utilize customer data after the visit to develop even better visitor experiences, and how we can also engage the visitors to act sort of as ambassadors for our destination. So this is our main focus today, and that's basically all from me. Now, please, Henry, take the microphone and take us forward. Thank you on my behalf, and once again, welcome everyone, and hope you have a enjoyable and informational webinar. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Matti, and hello everybody. My name is Henry Myöhänen. I'm from business design agency Booming, and I will be your host today. To start with, I would like to ask all of you to go to menti.com. I'll show you here the address. So www.menti.com and type in the code, or you can use the QR code here to access the same workspace. And when we have everybody in there, we have prepared a few really carefully selected questions for you guys to answer during the webinar in order to get you guys interactive also and getting you also participating. So when you get into the Menti, if you could answer the first poll here. So basically what we are doing here is trying to get the sense of the kind of like usage of your organization's visitor data. And the score looks quite good. Let's wait still for a while if we get everybody to answer. Clearly the trend is that people is using it occasionally. Good. Did everybody get the chance to answer? We have 36 participants and there's not like half of that. So we'll give you a few more minutes to answer the first one.
Ampak jaz sem zamudila Mentimeter, pa ne morem dati.
Sorry, what was that a question? All right, I think most of the people got time to answer. So let's move forward. The second question is something that you can take a little bit more time to answer. So you don't need to answer this right away. But in one sentence, during the presentations, what you hear, if you could fill in what does the great visitor experience after the trip look like to you? But now let's go back to the actual presentations. And I would like to present our first speaker, my dear colleague, CEO of Booming Strategies and Marketing, Karoliina Lehtonen. And Karo has been closely cooperating with Visit Tampere during the Interact project, and Karoliina will explain us how the TAAS model was applied and how the knowledge labs process was used to engage destination stakeholders to develop better sustainable tourism mobility services and digital visitor journey in Tampere, Finland. Go ahead, Karo.
Thank you, Henry, for the introduction, and hi everyone. I'm really excited to share the insights from our collaboration with Visit Tampere, where we used, like Henry told you, tourism as a service model to understand how we can develop the digital customer journey and sustainable mobility. We think that tourism as a service model isn't just a framework, it's a way of thinking about the tourism as an integrated experience, not just a list of disconnected services. For us, that meant that we had to have that kind of state of mind that we are thinking about the mobility, digital tools and services as not as a separate things, but we treat them as one seamless experience. We had 4 main goals together with Visit Tampere. First, we wanted to find better ways to attract and retain visitors. Then we mapped out the visitors' digital journey, and we compared where we are today to where we would like to be. Next, we turned those insights into real, doable solutions, not just ideas, but things that we can actually develop together, and they can be used by our visitors. And finally, we wanted to help Visit Tampere to bring people together, inspire partners, build commitment, and gather around our shared strategic goals for the region. Like Henry said, we had this kind of co-creation labs that we called knowledge labs. These were really hand-on sprints that brought together transport providers, tech partners, and the city marketers and other stakeholders. Over 3 days, we mapped the gaps, designed new concepts for multimodal travel, and evaluated each concept idea. And of course, we got inspired also on new technologies like AI. And I think everyone is really interested to hear how we use AI. We used AI to help us to understand how visitors will use it to plan the trip and help them during the trip. This is actually something that is really changing the way visitors are actually planning and consuming the digital content even now and more in the future. We created customer personas and tried to understand how we can inspire them to use sustainable ways of transport when traveling to Tampere and moving around the city once they are here. Here you can see a couple of our examples, the ideas we co-created, like this kind of like ticket bundles where you have family ticket for example, for tram and then for the museum. And we have this kind of new kind of packages for biking experience. Of course, bike and sauna because we are in Finland. And bike and beer, for example. And then we designed this kind of AI-powered trip assistance also. Or sometimes the solution can be really easy, like just making sure that there is up-to-date information on bus and tram schedules on our attractions websites. So what did we learn? First, we should make sustainable travel the easiest choice. If it's not well integrated and easy to purchase, people won't choose it. And second, we should, like I said before, orchestrate experiences, not focus only on separate services. Tourists remember journeys, not transaction. If you think about your last trip, you don't remember how did you go there, but you feel you remember how seamless and easy it was to use, for example, bus or tram. Third, use data as a design material. Feedback shouldn't just be collected, it should shape what we are really doing. And finally, don't reinvent the wheel. Many great tools and digital solutions already exist. We don't have to make them from the scratch. Our jobs is actually only connect them into seamless and usable experiences. So if we go more into phase D, that is now today our focus area. So the phase D is empowered to influence, like Matti told us. It's all about what happens after the visit. How do we keep the people involved? How do we make it easy and meaningful for them to give feedback or even shape the future experiences and even the local community that we have here. And of course, the main target is to make them come back again. And this is actually the phase what is crucial for building deeper engagement and long-term loyalty. And funny enough, when we explored this in our knowledge labs, we realized that phase D isn't the last step. It's actually the first, because the data and insights we get here helps us to trigger the future visits, inspire planning, and make everything more targeted and relevant for the visitors. So it's actually about the shifting from one-off services to building the ongoing smart connection with the visitor. So how do we get people actually come back, leave feedback, and maybe even influence others? So here you can see a few ideas we worked on. First, there is smart retargeting. We had this kind of idea that we could use, for example, the Tampere.Finland app to reach visitors after the trip with relevant offers. We can tell them about the missed experiences, like you didn't do that last time, please come back and you can try this this thing now. And we can tell them about the upcoming seasonal events. And second, we should analyze this feedback from global review platforms, for example, TripAdvisor, Google, Booking.com, to make our messages more personalized and improve services based on what people actually think and feel. And actually, this is something that our next speakers will dive into more into this. And of course, we should empower the visitors to become ambassadors for our city by launching, for example, photo challenges or other social media campaigns. And of course, we should invite visitors to vote or contribute ideas for new services or improvements. But what is really important that we should also show them that their input is valid and valued. Here is a couple of development actions that we identified as a so-called low-hanging fruits for Tampere. First, we need to make really clear that how people can give feedback, and whether it's about the tram ride or museum cafe, feedback channels should be easy to find and user-friendly. So saying that, we should utilize the channels where people are actually already leaving the feedback. And we understood that quite many attractions that are operated and owned by city are not on those global review platforms. And at the same time, if we want to utilize that data for the analyzing the visitors' feedback, we should have them on those platforms. And third, also, someone has to own always the feedback, how to handle the feedback. That means assigning responsibility inside and across the organizations. Otherwise, nothing happens for the feedback if nobody is responsible for those. And finally, the feedback shouldn't just sit in a drawer like real time. We should shorten the feedback loop by using the real-time dashboard, so we can actually, it's not something that we do once in a year, but this is like ongoing process for making our processes better by using the real-time feedback from the visitors. It's also important to define how we track the impact of our actions. So here's a couple of key metrics that we identified for phase D in our work together with Visit Tampere and the stakeholders. They are growth in and improvement of visitors rating. Of course, if we want to get the organizations into these platforms. Of course, we need to measure how we are succeeding in this job. And of course, how we are getting the returning visitors back to Tampere, and how they are interacting with our new campaigns for them. Then the higher social media engagement when we are using the user-generated content, and how actually, what is the growth in feedback volume and our response rate. So here was my quick wrap up about the quick set for what we did together with Visit Tampere. So to wrap up, here's thought to leave you with: what if every visitor was more than just a tourist? What if they are co-creators with you? Like I said, tourism as a service isn't just a framework, it's a mindset shift. It's about the designing with the visitors, not just for them. I hope this gave you some fresh ideas on how destinations can lead, not only in sustainability, but in building meaningful, connected experiences. Thanks you on my behalf.
Thank you so much, Karoliina. This is super interesting, especially how you can see that like the TAAS model phase D actually the first phase of the whole model. If you guys have any comments or questions, let's do so that let's save them for the end of the webinar. But you can type them in the chat section throughout the presentations, and we will pick them up from there at the end. Next, I would like to introduce Henna Siltanen from Business Helsinki, who will showcase us how City of Helsinki is using post-trip visitor experience data for enhancing customer knowledge and driving the destination development.
Perfect. Thank you for the introduction. I will just share my slides with you also. We can have a discussion on the topic. Can you please just confirm you can see the first slide? Perfect. So nice to meet you all. My name is Henna Siltanen. I work as a senior advisor in the most sustainable tourism destination of the world, and also the capital of the happiest country in the world, Helsinki. And my work is connected to smart city development and also digital transformation. So I'm here to present some key insights from how we use data appeal and visitor data and feedback after the trip, so in the part D, for destination development, and also how we support our ecosystem with the data. So I would like to first start off with the destination development perspective, and this is quite large. I will not have time to go through all case examples that we have, but I have selected a few that might be of interest for the audience for this webinar. So data-driven decision-making is a strategic priority in Helsinki. We don't rely on gut feeling, but on validated and reliable data. We have clear KPIs that are defined in our strategy, and we monitor our progress efficiently and effectively. We have created the visitor experience management model, and this is a key tool in our strategy. We combine insights from platforms like Data Appeal and also from our own online visitor survey to find and identify areas for development, but also to monitor what is going on well and where we receive some lower feedback scores from the visitors. I can hear that there's some microphones on, but perhaps we can get those muted in a second. Thank you. So in this management model, we actually involved our partners from the tourism industry. We had more than 100 partners actually co-creating this management model with us. And we could see that there was a high awareness of data value. And this customer feedback helps us to track the sentiment trends, for example, by season, by segment, geographic area, and also service types, just to name a few examples. So we monitor how well development targets are met, and then we adjust our own operations accordingly. And the insights that we get from the data, they also guide long-term strategy and lead to action. So the data is not just something that we collect and look at, but it actually leads to action and therefore transformation in the destination. For example, we have diversified our winter product offering based on the data and feedback. We have chosen specific campaign themes based on the data, etc. And some of the most interesting discoveries we could see from the customer feedback was that winter months have actually shown record growth all the way since November of last year. And this was a bit of a surprise for Helsinki because we typically have estimated that summer is the most attractive season of the year to visit Helsinki, but this was actually not the case. Visitor sentiment scores were higher in March and April compared to the summer months of last year. So therefore, we started promoting winter and other seasons. We have aimed to get more major events, congresses, B2B meetings throughout the year and not just only during the summer months. And also the cruise ships, international cruise ships now are arriving to Helsinki all year round and not just in the summer season. So this has been a very positive development for the all year round destination and tourism in Helsinki. Another case example comes from the Urban Environment Division. They are directly in charge of the planning, construction, maintenance, building control, and environmental services that are related to the urban environment in Helsinki. And they were previously struggling to find data that would be reliable enough to understand what are the customer expectations and experiences in the public parks of Helsinki. And they are now using data appeal to get this understanding of what are the customers actually feeling about the parks and what are some areas of development that we could actually enhance the parks in Helsinki to meet the expectations of the visitors even better. And lastly, we could see from the data that food and beverage sector of Helsinki is gaining a lot of international recognition. Last year, we hosted the Michelin Nordic Award ceremony in Helsinki, and we had a full year dedicated to marketing food and food-related events and activities in Helsinki. And we could see that the food and beverage sentiment scores in data appeal were actually higher in Helsinki than they were in some of our competitor cities. Perhaps you have known to appreciate Copenhagen as one of the foodie cities in the Nordic countries, but actually Helsinki's food and beverage sector is gaining better reviews than Copenhagen's restaurants and cafeterias. So this was a really nice moment of understanding how well our food and beverage sector is performing, and therefore enhancing the idea that we should really promote this as one of the key attributes in Helsinki. We then further on did an analysis on the identity of Helsinki, or the so-called DNA of a destination. And there also we discovered that food was one of the most positively mentioned attributes in the destination. Again, highlighting the fact that we should really promote this even further and bring it as one of the key attributes in the destination. And then I could not do a presentation without mentioning the sustainability factors, because these are so embedded in our strategy. And we really need to understand from the visitors' feedback and customer data how how are we actually meeting the visitors' expectations when it comes to visiting a sustainable destination and also using sustainable services in the destination? Helsinki has consistently performed well in global sustainability indexes, especially in the environmental areas. Last year, we were ranked first in the GDS in destination development, supplier performance, and also environmental performance. And besides the GDS #1 placement, we also this year received the Green Destination certification, which is in line with the world's strictest criteria for sustainable tourism destinations. And to achieve it, it requires full compliance with the criteria. So these two recognitions just showcase how important it is for us to also gain the sustainability understanding from our customers and to then make some adjustments so we can actually communicate better about our sustainability activities, or then we can just understand what we can develop so that the visitors also appreciate and perceive us as a sustainable destination. And then I would like to continue to the second perspective of the presentation. So how do we support the ecosystem with customer feedback data? We regularly share data and insights with the local businesses in a clear and practical format. We also offer tailored support and data deep dives. For example, with the network of Makers of Helsinki, it's a joint network of tourism, events and restaurant sectors consisting of about 150 different companies in Helsinki. We made an analysis from the data appeal data of museums, and we cross-compared what museums are performing well and what are the positive feedback that they're receiving, and overall what are some areas for development. We presented this analysis with the network members, gained some further questions and comments from them, but further on it led to a very specific project with one of the network members where they realized that their profile was not so visible in Google Maps in the sector they wanted to be visible in. So then we helped them to perform better in the Google Maps and Google listing to gain that digital visibility. So there again, it had a transformative role, even though it was just one network partner that actually took the action. But these are very important in destination overall. And of course, we want more and more companies to take action based on these kind of insights. We do encourage the companies to be very active in their digital presence and highlight high-performing examples. This we can see that it creates a positive peer motivation among the network members. And also businesses can then easily see how they compare with one another, because in their day-to-day business operations, they might not have time to go through that expansive kind of data and cross-compare where are they situated against their competitors in terms of customer feedback. And also we want them to be very active in responding to customer feedback in peer review channels, because then that helps to create credibility from the eyes of the visitor when they're looking at choosing different kinds of destinations and services in the destination. Overall, our network partners are very committed to our strategy, to our values, and they're very engaged in the data. We have actually had meetings with them to analyze together the customer feedback data and find common conclusions and areas for development. And not only do we share data with the members, but they actually actively share insights with us and then co-create certain kinds of projects or campaigns and collaborate with us very actively. And I'm happy to also see from the data that when we compare the average sentiment scores of our network members against all of the other services in Helsinki, actually our companies in the network are performing better. So this also highlights the value of belonging to a network and gaining that extra support motivation to develop your business even further. And just to summarize some thoughts of what's happening next, we can see that there's still a lot of untapped potential in this kind of customer data. Our approach has been so far to first understand the general level and the overall data, and then go deeper and deeper into use cases and segments, and actually using the filters, etc., that are available in these kind of platform data. We have only been using this specific platform for about 5 months, so I anticipate that there's still a lot of learning ahead, and happy to share any further discussion and comments with you all to map out this process together. But with these thoughts, thank you so much. Happy to answer any questions if there are some from the audience.
Wow. Thank you so much, Henna. This is so interesting, and there's so much new insights, even though I'm also living in Helsinki. But yeah, let's try to save the comments and questions at the end of the presentations. Last, but definitely not the least, speaker today is Agne, Head of Tourism and Marketing from Kaunas Inn from Lithuania. And Agne will present us how the Kaunas gift card has become a strategic tool for boosting local spending, attracting visitors, and collecting valuable behavioral data.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, I'm a bit sorry. I have a sore throat, but I will try to be understandable. And so this is my presentation about the Kaunas gift card, or to be more precisely, Kaunastic gift card. And just for you to understand the origins of the card, it is a bit important to understand how it came to be. So I represent Kaunas Inn, which is the tourism development and foreign investment development country of Kaunas, and our tourism unit, which I represent as a DMO, it has developed a very successful brand, and that brand for promotion of tourism was called It's Kaunastic. So it has a very fun story behind it, but basically it is a very successful example of the fact how a city brand is really well accepted by the tourists and locals alike. And with this come a bit of when everyone loves it, then everyone is using it, and you kind of sometimes it can be a bit difficult to stick to what this brand has to communicate exactly. But I think we've done just right. But last year, so after very faithful 8 years serving, we have just switched to Kaunas self-made city, and it's Kaunastic. It is used for certain branding campaigns, but we still need to, we still use it for communication. And so at the very beginning, with the beginning of our agency, already the gift card has been developed. And of course, the natural benefit for having it is this keeps money in Kaunas, and you have a variety and helps to track usage. However, I have to say that, when I started working here, this card has just seemed as a given, as a gift card that you can purchase. Of course, it's a very representative offer, but I wouldn't say from my research preparing for this presentation that it has been proactively used just to really make the best of tracking usage and just expanding into the fields that would strategically align to the city brand. Well, it was left for its own course, and so it is operated by Gera Dovana, which is experience gift store. So basically, because as a small agency, Kaunas did not have the capacity just to be the proprietor. So it is agreed that the Gera Dovana manages it, that Kaunas Tourism Center is on the card on special conditions. But since the beginning, it has always had over 100 locations represented, and it is like a prepaid card, and all the clients can be seen on the website, on the sub-page of our website. And so representation is rather diverse. So you will probably see that the total does not match with the individual lines, because some of them are under several categories. And for me, immediately you can just catches my attention that culture is really underrepresented, and there is great potential here. And what really also affects data collected for this card is that since 2020, each new Kaunastic baby gets this welcome pack, and the prepaid card or Kaunastic gift card is included. And as you can see, you will see from the data, this really affects the statistics of it all. So just for you to get an idea, from the very beginning, this is how the distribution of purchases it looks like. Of course, 2025 is still not just in the middle, but you can also see that there is very direct correlation of when the card was started to be used for the welcome packs for babies. So this is just for you to see the dynamics, and when the card is purchased the most and throughout the year even, you can always see that, most of the card is most of the card purchases happen in either November or in December. So this is a great correlation, with the holiday season. And what is also important to mention, but that you can see is still rather stable in purchasing, but also with great potential. And so this is a prepaid card, so you don't have it use it at once. And so there's the total of, from 17,000 cards, there's 31,000 events, and you can see that the dominant, absolute winner of this situation is Kūdikių spa, which means baby spa, and this is where you see direct correlation with this being in the welcoming welcome packs, and others are curiosities also related with activities with children. Pegasus is a bookstore. Forum Cinemas is a cinema theater, and Sarma is a shop for cosmetics. And another important trend that you can see is that those three, the Pegasus, Forum Cinemas, and Sarma, they are in big shopping malls. So just for you to get some more insight to understand where it is. So of course, wellness and spa is a dominant because of the baby spa, but it is also used for entertainment, like cinemas, activities with children. All those three Forum Cinemas and Curiosity are related with, and the zoo. Also with food places, so people use it for with gastronomic experience as well. And of course, a variety of shopping, and usually in shopping places that are, as I said, in the shopping malls. And culture is represented, so you can see that, there are it is used in Kaunas and Tourism Center, and not very much in cultural institutions yet. So what works? It has been used since 2018. It has been, you see that the numbers are stable, and really it is an example of how, the brand the brand is really accepted in the city as a family-friendly brand. And this, of course, well, it works too. It's like a two-way street. So it is in the welcome back, and then it is usually given as associated with families. And seasonal patterns show where you can really work on the promotion of the card and see what people buy as a gift. And yeah, it's a brand loyalty tool. But what still you can see from what I have just provided, that this is like a great potential. Since 2020, it has been going on a bit like on its own accord, because it's managed by Gera Dovana. And so while we are like the brand name, so the companies on that card, the partners are well in accord with our brand, but still it would need, and we will actually have this in the plans of active involvement of more cultural offering to the card, because I think that this would really benefit the card and give it a new spin and fresh life. And this really becomes necessary because Kounastic as a brand is, well, still beloved, but just might really fade into obscurity a bit. And of course, the big concentration in malls where you can just have this card. So it would be a great direction seeing this information to drive more traffic into small boutique shops. So they would be just, they would end up on this very same list. And of course, another thing is from us as tourism experts, professionals, to promote inclusion of objects that would be more relevant for tourists as well. Yes. And that's it from me. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I am at your disposal.
Thank you so much, Agne. I think the gift card is pretty clever way of keeping the money in Kaunas and also driving the purchase of local experiences and services and also collecting the data from the users. So really nice. Next, if I could ask you to open your Menti sessions again. I will share it from here. So with the last two questions, we would like to kind of like reflect everything what we have heard today in the presentations directly the TAAS Phase 3 Phase D model, and first we could create this like a live word cloud about your thinking. So if you could describe in one word what makes a visitor want to return and recommend your destination. So just type in 1 or 2 words. Nice. There's really good ones coming up. Good. If there's still somebody wants to share their thoughts, just go ahead. Let's have a few more seconds. Really good. And then the last question is basically all about the key takeaways of the webinar. So what is the one concrete action you could take into your own destination to turn a visitor into ambassador after the trip? Not the easiest question, but if you need to highlight one, what would it be? Also, at the same time, if you have any questions to the speakers, I saw that there was one from Matti to Henna, but I guess Henna answered that already. But if you have any questions, just shoot them out. I think everybody is still thinking of the last questions. Really good answers coming up. All right. But do you guys have any questions for the speakers? Anything what came to your mind and would like to know more?
Well, maybe I can start. I'll just read aloud the question I made to Agne because I thought the welcome new babies gift card idea was really wonderful. I was just thinking that have they or maybe have someone else sort of used that idea and selected random visitors, maybe past visitors or new visitors, and just sent open welcome to Kaunas Christmas gift cards or something like that. Just to use the gift card as a sort of way of getting new visitors to come or the already visited visitors to come again.
I can just answer. I just answered in the text, but I can say in word that we do have from time to time campaigns where we do give those cards as a gift for people coming from other cities. And also we have just a campaign where we collected offers from our partners and just randomly distributed for people. So people did not know what they are going to receive. And this experience was called adventurous, meaning that you will have to come to this, you have to sign that you will come for whatever. And so it was a very nice swap, and it resulted in people just discovering places where they wouldn't usually go. And so I think this is another way where you can just boost people to discover some more in your city.
That's a wonderful idea too. Absolutely great.
Yes, we have one question here from Konstantin. What incentives convinced local businesses to join the gift card ecosystem, and how do you measure their ROI?
So actually, the incentive is the Gera Dovana, the operator. It runs its specific system. So basically, for each, from what information we get is from them, and they have special, well, like arrange deal with each partner separately. So basically they work for the commission of 5 to 10%. And the benefit that they get from joining the loyalty program is just exposure in the system, because those online experience shops are a very popular way in Lithuania, well, a way to give presents.
And is there like way of measuring the return on investment?
Not at the moment.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Any questions? We have the other speakers here also still if you want to ask something. If not, then we're gonna say thank you and have a really good midsummer week, everybody. But we will stay here for another few minutes if you have some questions.
Wonderful. Also, thank you on my behalf and behalf of the whole TAAS project team. And thank you especially to the speakers, really great and inspiring examples. And also like to compliment Henna and Helsinki for your really sort of wonderful and coherent, comprehensive way of using data. So you are doing a really superior work there. But I guess we are done. And if you wish to keep up with the TAAS Tourism as a Service project news, you can sign up for the newsletter. I added the link to the chat. And also on my behalf, thank you everyone, and thank you Henry also for taking us through the webinar. So
Thank you.
beautiful work.
Thank you, everybody.